Hey friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 106 of a Naughty Mess Knitting Podcast. All right, we are post-flock. We are, 4 days post-flock. I am still tired, I'm not gonna lie. It's also pretty late on Thursday and I don't normally film after work, but this is what we're doing. I could not get myself out of bed early enough, and then I had tons and tons of meetings, and I didn't have any time over lunch, and so here we are. Me coming at you so late. I'm gonna roll right into editing, so this should be pretty fun. But let us chat about all of the fun yarny goodness that happened this week. I have my fully finished mini Battenberg to talk about, some progress updates, a new cast on, and some plans. So it's going to be packed full, and I'm going to try to go as quickly as is reasonable. Let's start from the very top in that, hi, my name is Megan. I am a mostly knitter, but I also spin yarn and I crochet and I sometimes cross-stitch on Sundays. And I live in the Pacific Northwest with my husband, Mike, our daughter, Theo, and my mom, Cindy, and our dog, Winter. Those are the people in this house. A lot of people in this house. I say this like I live just north of Seattle. I truly live just north of Seattle. I'm not as far as Everett. I live in Shoreline. It's like one town above Seattle. So it was a quick jump down to flock this past weekend. For anyone who does not know, is not from the West Coast, it has not seen this or been on social media for this, Flock is a fiber festival that happens here in Seattle. It happens in our convention center, which is actually a really beautiful building in downtown Seattle. It is pretty easy to get to. We took the train down on Saturday. We drove on Sunday. And yeah, it's great. It happens every August. Next year's dates are already released, and it is going to be 1 week earlier, which I actually find very surprising because Jess said she would not do that again. The first Saturday in August. So this year it'll be the 31st. Next year it'll be the 31st of July, the 1st of August, the 2nd of August. The 1st of August is a Saturday this year, but that day is always Seafair weekend. That is a crazy weekend to do another event here in Seattle. That's when we have like the log boom out, which is like logs put together that boats tie up to in the middle of Lake Washington. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them, and you can like get your boats out there. Anyway, it's a bunch of drinking. There's like parades. The Blue Angels come fly over. There are hydroplane races, and that means there are a lot of people. That's also the end of Fleet Week here. Which is Navy boys, but there's like a lot of people in Seattle at that point. So getting hotels, getting flights, getting Airbnbs, that's why she didn't want to do it Seafair weekend again. So I wonder if the convention center that was the only weekend that was available, which is quite crazy. So next year will be interesting. Anyway, that's all just information for you. But so I live pretty close, and I want to tell you about our knit along meetup and all these other things, but I want to go through the things first. So I did wear this at Flock on Sunday. This is also the shirt I wore for our meetup picture. Then I put my other shirt back on Saturday. So there are pictures floating around. I will get one on the grid this week. I will do it. I have a lot of catch up I want to do on Instagram. I just have not been attentive to my social media, and I have not been doing as many test knits, so I've not been like just posting things on the grid, which is good for me, but like not great for my online presence. That's okay. That's why I post here and talk to you every week in this format, because this is more manageable for me. Okay, so I will post this picture. It's very cute. We got pictures on the stairs. It's got a lot of shadows for us, but it's hard because that's actual sunlight coming in. And unless we're going to meet up at 10 in the morning and have light coming the other direction, so it would be diffused, we're just going to have that problem. So maybe next year we'll take pictures somewhere else, but that's such an easy place to meet up. Anyway, I had the best time meeting everybody. I did wear this though, because we did a Tori U Flock U knit along. This is my first Flock knit along, and this is the Uptown Tee. I made the Uptown pullover earlier this year. I love that pattern. That's DK weight. This is the fingering weight pullover or t-shirt. I don't think there are not long sleeve directions within the pattern, but there are no decreases for the DK one either. So I think you just keep the sleeves this all the way down, and then you do a ribbed cuff, and then you would have a long sleeve version of this. I want to make a long sleeve version of this. This is like very summer yarn. This is a linen silk blend from Paisley Knits, 65% silk, 35% linen. It is the most breathable, nice, lovely fabric, and I am very glad I wore that on Sunday, though I kind of wish I wore it on Saturday. It was hot. So this is Uptown Tee. Here are a couple details about it, even though I did not make this that long ago, but I will just remind you. This is a size 4, should have been 46-inch bust. Recommended ease is 2 to 4 inches, positive ease. I used 3.5 millimeter needles for the body, and the ribbing was 2.75, or the edging, and I think that was just for the neck, which is kind of a rolled neckline. This one doesn't have much of a roll, which is okay. And then I did the I-cord, and I used my Cord Smith regular size, original size. And then this is Summer Sock in Malibu Dream House from Paisley Knits. I will say I walked up to Coley in this shirt when we were taking pictures on Saturday, and I said, what color is this? And she like looked at it for, I'm going to say a whole minute. She says it's not that long, but it was like a whole minute. And she's like, it's Barbie. And she did rename this colorway. So she was like, it's the Barbie pink. And I was like, yeah, there are more than one Barbie pink, but this was from the collection, Malibu Dream House. Anyway, but she was like, what is this base? And I was like, it's your summer sock. And she was like, it's so nice. And I was like, yeah, it is. This is a really, really nice base. Tumalo had this base at their booth this flock also. And I saw like a couple people purchase it, and like, yeah, it's excellent for breathable material, and it feels really lightweight, and this gauge is pretty good. It's a tiny bit see-through, but also it's fine. It's fine. Is that my actual bust measurement was 46 inches. My bicep was 17.5. The sleeve length was 2.5, and that's measured from the underarm. And I did add length, and the pattern says you can add length or not add length. I think that helps with it raising too much. Like, obviously it still does this just because of the way the raglan is. Any shirt is going to do that. If you like lift your arm, it's going to raise your shirt. But I did add quite a lot of length too. So I think this is like supposed to be like 8 or 9 inches in total body length. And I did mine to 12.5 from underarm to hem. But the total length from shoulder to hem is 22 inches. And I love to be somewhere in the 21 to 22.5 inches, 20.5 to 22.5. Those 2 inches, I'm not into more cropped than that. This one is pretty long. It does sit at my full hip, which you will have seen in the picture. Okay. Let's go on to, and I just finished this. I finished this during the cowl. So I've not worn it a ton of times because I wanted it to look really fresh for flock. So I'm now going to wear the crap out of it the rest of the summer. And it's been a hot week here. So yeah, let's move right along. Okay, let's do our final review of because I feel like I just zoomed through this last week, my mini Battenberg, which is for my daughter Theo, by Gina Thoma Rockenwagner, who wrote this pattern for the Mini Pom magazine book. And that's still available. I don't know. Now that Pom Pom is quarterly is not in print, I don't know if the books are still available, but I've like seen them around at stores. So I'm assuming you can still buy this book. There is in the very back jacket cover a code to get the book digitally. So I did finish out the pattern digitally, which was really nice. It's in 2 parts. And this one is there's a lot of explanation. I mean, like, it gives you a very simple, 4 whatever rounds to complete this. The sew together or join as you go is okay instructions. I don't think they're awesome. There's just not that many pictures, and I think if you don't know how to do join as you go, this could be very confusing. I also think that they give you the chart on how to do the squares. It was not explicit enough between the 2 sides, and also like for this size there was these extra ones up here, and the instructions did not include how to include those, which I thought I had a little bit of challenge with that. I did have to redo the side. I started doing the side, and like the way that I had done the draw around on my picture to like start sewing them together is that they were backwards then. So the seam, like the join as you go seam, you can see here, was on the inside. It was just like the wrong direction. I was like, ooh. So I had to restart that and just redraw how I did my shape join. Everything is just then single crochet together. So you can see this, shoulder join here is, you know, more pronounced than the join as you go, but does not look dramatically different. And I think it's okay because it's just along the top of the shoulder and along the bottom of the underarm and on the side. And all of it is just really, yeah, really simple, really simple. Then use a smaller hook and you pick up and do a couple rounds of single crochet, a double crochet for where also the buttonholes are. And that's just like a chain one, you know, that, I mean, like that's like all simple. These are not complicated button band instructions. There's no short row shaping or anything. She doesn't need it. She's a baby. She's kind of rectangular shaped right now as a human. And I did sew buttons on this past week, and this was not dry when I showed it to you last week. So now it's fully dry. And I put buttons on, and I did not put an anchor button on these. I normally do, but for hers, I just figure they're gonna fall. She's gonna yank them off at some point. I'm gonna just have to resew them on. It's okay. And I just went with like a dark gray because I didn't have like a color that was like this small, 3 of them, but yeah. So here's what it looks like from the back. It's just so cute. It's very wide and cropped on her because she's got a little bit of like a baby belly. It's not huge on her, but it does have like a lot of drape, and it does, just because like this is like kind of structured, it does look like a jacket. Like it looks like a little jacket on her, less so than like a drapey sweater, if that makes any sense. The arms are actually a pretty good size for her. They do go short on her even. Maybe not that short, maybe like this. Like her wrist was like definitely out, but that's like what the design is. So in theory, this is like the 4 to 6 size. She will be able to fit in this for a couple of years more, even though it is really cropped. If it's looking too cropped and silly on her, I could always add a whole round of buttons at the bottom, and that would be fine. I don't know. I would probably undo the button band, then redo the button band in order for that to look more seamless. You could kind of just graft it together, but I'd probably just undo and redo. That part like did not take me more than an hour to do, so that would be worth it. Anyway, I hope she likes it. These colors are pretty fun, and this was all stash yarn. So let's see, rating the pattern. I thought the pattern was relatively easy to understand. It was written okay, especially something in a book. I feel like sometimes you kind of lose some of the nuance because they don't want to make it 20 pages long. And I think some crochet patterns just need to have like visuals, and this doesn't have quite as many as I would have hoped for. So I'll give it like a solid, you know, B. But doing it, I enjoyed making it. Like I would say that for somebody who's not experienced, that is like a little bit harder to make, at least for me, because I've done a lot of join as you go, and I've been crocheting for like 3 decades. I found this to be very enjoyable. I thought that the squares all go really fast. It was a pretty small, you know, hook size, so like they are nice and tight feeling, but they don't feel super stiff. And like the instructions to join as you go, like it's just overall, like I felt like nothing was too overwhelming. The back panel definitely took the longest, and every one of the other little side pieces didn't take that long. Would I do it again? Like I would make adjustments to this one. Would I make another one for like one of her little baby friends? Probably not. I'm gonna be real honest. Like this was a big enough project. I don't know that, and I like to crochet, but it's not my pride and joy anymore. So unless it's like, this is kind of unique, but like, I don't know. I just don't know that I would do it again. If she's older and she picks like a different crochet pattern, I'd make her another crochet jacket if she really wanted it. But yeah, I had fun making it though. Like no problem with making it. I just don't know that I would do it again. And I wouldn't do it for me, even if these squares were just bigger. It's not my look. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with that. This is Debbie Bliss Cashmerino, baby Cashmerino. It's the sport weight one. It's like acrylic and cashmere and I don't know what else. But it was pretty easy to work with. It's like one of those, it's like a 12 strander. It's a little bit splitty and a little bit annoying, especially for the join as you go, because you have to like take your hook out, insert it back into the other side, and then pull it through. And I didn't like split the yarn a ton, but I found it a little bit more annoying. Like sometimes my hook would just get like stuck and I was just like fighting it a little bit. All that being said, it's pretty soft. It's machine washable. I'm not going to machine wash it anyway, but it is, just in case that's a thing for you. So yeah, this is what do I have to say about that? Had fun making it. Would suggest it to other people to make. I guess that's a good enough indicator. Okay, let's go through my next cast on is my Alpine Bloom. I don't have a lot on the needles, everybody. I mean, I got a handful of projects. We're not talking about 8 though. I have not sewn in any of my ends yet, and I do need to do that because that'll make me feel better. But this is joined body. We're in the body. I am at a place where I can try it on, and that's where I stopped. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Wow. Wow, I really love it. Oh, I love it. I do think that the lace detail when on will be slightly more visible and when blocked, but I am a little bit wondering if the sleeve even, or the hem, like I was talking about doing the hem, if it's worth it in something that is not super visible, being so dark. Is it worth it to do that and graft it in the black? I've already done it for the neck, so I'm not going to change that, but I could certainly just do ribbing on the arms. Anybody have thoughts and feelings about it? I kind of want to do it because I just want to try that thing, but I don't know that it'll be noticeable that that's a thing. Anyway, I love it so much. I did walk around with this at Flock in my bag. I did finish the last 2 rounds on like Thursday while I was editing. Friday morning, because I took the day off Friday to get some stuff done before I was going to be gone for the weekend or absent for the weekend. And then I split for sleeves and did a couple of rows, and I did most of this at Flock and in the evening. And so that was a good amount of knitting. Yeah, I love it so much. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I'm really happy with like the color order I picked and everything. So I need to sew in ends. It's really even not that bubbly. Like, feels a little bit bubbly, but it doesn't look that bubbly. That's great. I actually think it's going to fit pretty nicely. I don't think it's going to be too low in my armpits, like just with how this is looking here on the camera. That's exciting. So I finished this ball of yarn also. My first kettle black is done. So I am ready to try it on, figure out how many rounds, because I believe the instructions are just that you pick up and knit and, you know, pick up your underarm stitches 1 round or maybe 2 rounds, and then you graft it to the lace part that you knit, because you have to knit that in the same direction as you had knit this, you know, to attach it, you graft it, Kitchener, whatever. I don't think that's gonna be a long enough sleeve for me. In fact, I know that's not gonna be a long enough sleeve for me. The lace part is a good 1.5 inches, a little over 1 inch, 1.25 inches. So they'll give me some, but I'm gonna probably want like 1 inch at least of black before I get there. So I will probably try it on still, then make that decision for real, which is probably the decision I'm gonna make, then make the bottom part just with the other end of the yarn, like from the inside part. And I might just I'll probably make one and then attach it, and then make the other one and attach it. That's probably what I'll do in order. Anywho, I'm really excited. It's really great. Oh, sorry, I don't think I said in the very beginning, this is the Alpine Bloom by Caitlin Hunter, who is Boylan Knitworks. I have never knit a Caitlin Hunter for myself, so this will be my first. I do not have very many colorwork patterns. I love colorwork, especially in cows and things, like where it's circular and simple, but I did enjoy doing this a lot, and I have decided, at least one of the things I wanted to do this year, that's why I put it on my Make 9, is that I wanted to do one circular yoke colorwork t-shirt, a fingering weight, because I knew I would be like more likely to wear this for like longer in the year. But this is 4 strands of yarn for 2 of the rows, 3 for a lot of them. So it is denser than like a just 2 strand. Like I mean, you can feel it, like I can feel it. It feels quite puffy. So this is not, strictly speaking, like a super summery top. This will be a very good, like, both spring and fall top. And I don't think I'm gonna change my mind on the sleeves, but I certainly could make this long sleeve. If I like put it on and I'm like, ooh, a t-shirt vibe is not good with like the way this feels and whatever, I might just do it long sleeve, and I can make the cuffs in the pattern and do some decreases. I don't know. The world is my oyster. We'll decide. We'll figure it out. But I've got a good like 3.5 inches maybe of body here done. So I don't have tons and tons to do. I think this is pretty cropped, her version. I will not make it that cropped. I will probably make it a full like 10 inches plus the hem then. So I've got a ways to go, but considering I did that over just a couple of days while I was also doing other stuff, that's not so bad. Really loving how this is coming along. I am making though a size 4, I think, which is 48 inches. And I decided to do less ease. This does have like quite a range of ease on it, which is 2 to 8 inches. And I liked a lot of the pictures on the Ravelry project pages where there was less ease. This to me is like this is 2 inches for me. I am not on gauge. I'm not terribly off gauge. I thought I was way more off gauge, but I am not. My row gauge is not great for the flower part, but I think it's going to fit okay. So blessing in disguise. I don't know. Once we try it on, we'll really know. I should remeasure my gauge below. I'm not going to change anything. I think it's fine how it is, but yeah, we'll see. This is though Linen Quill from Pearl Soho. I got the minis from a friend, and I got the black kettle black from D-Stash a few years ago, and I didn't have any plans for it. And I just love how heathery it is underneath, but I also love how bright the brights are. Like the black is super, like you can really see the linen. And I mean, I think you can even see it from there. Like it's very heathery, but the brights are like, they're not too muted. They're bright. This is bright flamingo. Can you tell? It's great. So I'm really excited. I am really excited to have it. This is the closest thing to being done, and I don't think I'll get it done next week. I mean, it feels like a lot because of the lace and the grafting. I haven't not finished something for myself since my Queen's Cameo, which, I mean, that's hilarious. That was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to progress some projects. I'm probably going to cast some new things on, so I might not finish this right away, but I would like to finish this before the summer ends, so at least to have it to wear in the fall, whether I decide on long sleeves or short sleeves. I want more t-shirts, so I'm like kicking myself. I should just do short sleeves, but I also want it to be like wear appropriate. If this is going to feel too thick for me to want to wear it as a t-shirt, then I don't want to have short sleeves because I'm going to want to grab it as a long sleeve. Does that make sense? So I think I just need to put it on, wear it for a little bit, and see how I feel about how hot it feels on my chest. Okay, that's all for that. Let's go on to the next cast on, which is, oh gosh, the No Sweatshirt. I made a decision, and that was to keep going. And I really didn't, many of you did not weigh in on this, so I love that you're just watching the journey and hoping that I make decisions. I need to be out of my stash. It's not yarn I want to work on offloading. I had this as an idea. I like it more now. Now that it's bigger, I do like it more. And quite frankly, as I asked you guys that question, and then I did knit on this quite a lot actually while I was editing, because I was like, I'm just going to go for it. That was my decision. So I will show you the wrong way out because that's how it will look. So it was funny. I was looking at pictures on Ravelry last night because I was trying to decide what hood shape I want to make. There's a pointy hood and a rounded hood. And it was really hard. There's a lot of people who don't have hood pictures up or don't indicate in the pattern which one they picked, and like in their Ravelry page. And I also noticed in pictures there are a lot of people that wear this right side out, which you could do, but you lose that detail. Like you'd have to change the raglan detail because you have a detail here which is like a slipped stitch essentially raglan, and that's only because it's on the wrong side. So you don't get it. I guess you still get a line on the right side of the fabric, but you don't get like the raised line. Which, I mean, I guess it doesn't look that different in reality, but just interesting. I was like, oh, I mean, to each their own. I wanted it on this side. This looks better to me today than it did last week. It is quite crazy, but I think it'll be pretty fun. And again, it's gonna be like a throwover thing. It feels, yeah, it's so interesting because I had Ariel feel this last night too. And we did a little knit night with a friend who's in town, and she was like, wow, yeah, like if you feel the ball of it, you would not think it's going to knit up like this. And then she felt the top and she goes, I guess that's more of what I thought it would feel like, which is the same for me. So I was like, well, if I thought that when I felt it, then it has to be okay with the finished object. I guess I don't have to be okay with it. I need to know that that's what I intended. So that's fine. It's fine. But here's where I am. I did quite a lot. I'll flip it back inside out, which is right side out. Because I am, this is where my marker is. That's where I was, everybody. I had not done that many of the raglan even, like that much of the raglan. It's like raglan finished all the way down here. I did all of that. And then I did like, how much since I joined the body? Like the same amount as the Alpine Bloom almost. Like 3.5 inches, maybe a little bit more. I crushed it. It's been a really easy thing to work on this week. And I don't know why. I've just picked this up to work on way more often than the Alpine Bloom. And that was down here in my office and, you know, whatever. And I got to the point of the sleeves and I just stopped because I didn't feel like adding anything else on this week. So here's where I am. I did sew in all my ends for all the balls I connected. I think I'm on my 6th ball of yarn. It's gotta be, which is crazy. These are small. They're 50-gram balls and they're on these little hard cardboard things, which then I've been giving to Theo and she's been drawing on them and wearing them as wristbands, which is quite hilarious because it goes like all the way up her arm. But I don't know. I've just been going and adding more. I've only come across one ball with a break in it, so that's pretty good. And so yeah, I've just been sewing in ends on the right side so that they look nicest on the wrong side. It's just a weird thing to remember to do for yourself. Anywho, I am to the point where I can decide if I want to do some body decreases. I may do a couple just to make sure it drapes nicely on me because this is it does feel, it's just really heavy. So also if I can decrease out some stitches in the body, that would be great. So I am going to continue working on this. I actually think when I finish this ball of yarn, which I will decide if I'm going to do the decreases like now, I will finish out this ball of yarn and then I will probably pick up sleeves because I don't think I'm going to finish a sleeve in one ball of yarn. So I might just use one ball of yarn, finish the sleeves like most of the way, 3/4-ish, and then do the hood. Finish the hood. Why do I do this myself? Finish the hood completely and then decide how I want my arms to fit, just so that both when the hood is up and when it's down, the arms are long enough and they fit nicely. And then finish the body. So next week, hopefully I've got like a hood done. That would be great, even if the sleeves are not totally done. That's probably where I'll be though. Just working along on this, using up so much yardage because also this seems to be eating way more yardage than the pattern. But I think part of that is like the stiffness of this fabric. And I don't know. It's not stiff. Like, look how drapey it is. I don't know. Don't ask me, but I think it's eating way more yarn than I anticipated. And my gauge is actually not very incorrect. I went back and I measured like when I had more of the body done and I am a little bit off on row gauge, 1 stitch off on stitch gauge, which is not bad considering where I thought it was, which was really off, like 2.5 stitches off. So great, good. Sorry, and I didn't say, so that is the No Sweatshirt by Park Williams, who is Park and Knit. I have a couple of Park patterns. I don't think I've made any of them before. So it's my first time getting into her pattern writing, which is okay. Maybe not my favorite right now, but let's see. Once I get into the hood, like that's more complicated construction. We'll see what I think of it. And for that one, since I forgot to say that at the beginning also, that is an extra large, supposed to be 51 inches. We'll see what it ends up being. And I am using discontinued yarn from String NYC. It's called Oasis, and it is 45% linen, 33% cotton, 11% cashmere, and 11% silk, and it feels crazy. Feels very linen-y. That lighter strand is, I'm pretty sure, just linen. So I think the blue, the navy blue, is like all the other percentages, and then the 45% is just the linen, a straight linen strand. The color is navy gray twist. I don't feel like it's very gray. I feel like it's a little bit more tan. It's 120 yards for 50 grams. So $240 for a DK. And I swear I've used 3 skeins already, which I don't think is right. That's not right for like, or almost 3 skeins. It's not right for like if I was using any other DK. I think with that gauge and other things, like I would not have used that much yarn, which I'm not really sure what's happening, but this is a thing to note. And as a reminder, I also got that like basically for free from somebody who was getting rid of their whole stash on Ravelry. So inherited. Very expensive yarn. So I just have hopes and dreams that as I wear it and wash it, it will just soften and soften and soften. Let's move on to the next thing that I cast on. Well, I cast on 2 things this week, sort of. So I did cast on my August socks, and that's what we should talk about. Okay, so this is the yarn I am using for my August sock. It is a like fun, very beachy. This gives me super beach vibes. Variegated. It's got like tans and orange, blue, and white. So very Augusty color. And these are for my father-in-law, and I decided to do the DRK Everyday Socks. This is the first time I'm knitting this pattern. I have lots of friends who have knit it and really enjoy this pattern. It is by Andrea Mowry. She was having her birthday sale. She was also at Flock. I did wish her a happy birthday in passing as I saw her. I said, happy birthday, happy belated birthday, and just walked on by. She had so many people greeting her. It was quite crazy. And I'm sure she's super lovely, but I did not want to be a person who waited in line to say hi to her. Anyway, more just because time felt so precious while we were there. But I got these started. Anyway, I got this pattern during her birthday sale because I love to just, you know, support her. And also these are ones that just people have talked about a bunch. And I was like, intrigued to try. Also Fleagle heel, which is what I did for my mother-in-law. And these are for my father-in-law. So maybe I'll have better luck with this one. Anyway, I'm excited to get through the instructions. I've done the toe for both, and I've done part of the foot. I think I have a bit of the foot left on both of them before I get into doing the Fleagle heel, the like gusset increases and stuff for the Fleagle heel. So we'll just see how it goes, but I didn't really want to do a 2x2 sock for this because I just feel like that takes a lot longer and more concentration, and it's harder for me to stay on like a tight gauge, but also it's fine. It'll be more stretchy for him. His foot is wider than like Mike's. For Mike to like try on the sock, it's not going to be as, there's more leniency. It's also only 76 stitches instead of 80. So I'm a big fan of that. Anywho, this is really it. So I'm doing like the largest size. I don't know what it is, an extra large or something. Which coincides with this shoe size. This yarn is Hickory Lane Fiber Co., which I don't know if she's still dying, but it's 100% superwash merino. This is like also my mother-in-law, she had the Rockefeller color, which was like a Christmassy color, but that I did in February. And it's the same composition as this one. And so it's yeah, just like the same. And this was like a one of a kind tan blue that I got from somebody on D-Stash. Just like a single skein. And so socks. And I anticipate I'll use a lot more of this skein because he's got dude socks, and I'll make them pretty tall. That's the end of that. Not super the most thrilling thing ever, but we're doing the year of socks, everybody. In case you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, this year, me, Ariel, Emily, Katie are all trying to do one sock per month from stash skeins of socks. No one's doing scrappy socks. We're just all doing like single skeins we had. And Maya is doing like a quarter. So I think she's trying to do 6 total. So yeah, this has been really fun so far. I'm still on track. If I can get these done this month, by the end of the month, I have half a month left. It is possible. I did all of that in like 2 days, so it's possible. I just need to make that like a focus project at night, which I don't normally do. Socks always feel to me like on the go filler project, but I'll just have to buckle down and get them done. And then I think, and I'm doing mine as mostly gift knits for my family, for Mike's siblings, wives, our nieces and nephews, his parents, my mom. No for Mike, because he told me he's not going to wear socks. Then he asked me not that long ago, do I get a pair? And I was like, no. Maybe in the future. But I did knit myself a couple pairs this year also already. The next ones are going to be for my sister-in-law, who has a smaller foot than mine, thank goodness, and is self-striping socks. So I shall use a basic pattern for that. And then I go into the kids, I think, or my mom and then the kids at the end of the year. And I'm just going to squash them all together. There are 4 total, not including my daughter, who's not going to be on the schedule, but I will get her socks at some point. And yeah, but I'm just baby, small feet. My nephew's 11. He kind of has big feet, but everybody else has small feet. Okay, let's go into the thing I recast on. And that is, gosh, you guys aren't even going to remember this. This is one project this year that went into a long, long time out. Do you know what it is? Can you predict what I'm going to say? It is my Crosshatch. Hacked, not a real pattern, not using a paid pattern. I am really just doing a 2-color brioche scarf. At this point, there is no pattern. I will give Jared the credit for this because the color inspiration and sort of using 2 weights came from him, but I didn't want that size, and I didn't like the edging that he had. I didn't like the edging that I had come up with. I am now doing a different edging. I did a lot of different things. Okay. But this was like a pattern for Brooklyn Tweed. It is a paid pattern on Ravelry. It is just, I think they use a fingering and a worsted weight, and I am using like a Sport DK and a worsted, so I'm just not doing anything. I'm just doing what I want. So this, though, inspiration was Emily started also, she hacked this pattern. She did not, I don't think she paid for the pattern. Probably, or she paid for it and then changed a bunch of stuff. Anyway, in a dark gray. So she's using Gilead, I think, in like a dark heathery gray color, and then like a white Sport that she got. And she cast on this gorgeous wrap, and hers is going to be wider than mine. It's like 80 stitches across. And she was like, I'm just going to knit this super long. And she was like, asked for friend motivation. This was in March. I got the yarn in March. I cast it on right away. I worked. I didn't bring it down, did I? Oh, I did. I brought it down. Here's the original. And I put this just on like a stock needle. This is not a real needle for this. And this is how much I did of the original. And I even knew that this was too wide. I didn't want it to be this wide. I want it to be a little bit smaller because I want to be able to wrap it a couple times around, and I'm just not going to wrap it that much. If it is super wide, it just doesn't get that cold here. Okay. So I knew I wanted to recast on less stitches. I also knew that I didn't love the edging, and it's not the edging itself. It is the like first row of stitches, these stitches. I didn't like how they were looking. I just felt like it was really obvious that the turn and stuff. I recast on Tuesday night or Monday night, and I recast on, and I decided to do what I said I was going to do, and I left 3 stitches on either side that I was just going to pick up and do an I-cord after. I left one long end so I could do a bit. I did a little bit less than this, and then I picked up those stitches and I tried to do the I-cord up, and I still didn't like how the turn looked. Then I realized what was happening. What I needed to do is that I needed to end the rows with a black knit on the wrong side, or, you know, black brioche stitch, essentially. Is it picking up at all? Hello, there we are. This is so dark, but anyway, I needed to end that so that the turn of that last white brioche stitch on either side is not looking real crazy. Look how much cleaner that looks. And then I just decided, because I was talking to Sophia, who cast on an Andrew Mowry poncho pattern that is essentially a 2-color brioche, but really wide. And then, like, you know, I don't know if there's any shaping in it, but she was working on it, and I was like, wow, those edges look so clean. And she just was like, oh yeah, it's knit stitches. And I was like, oh, you know what? It is essentially kind of like a baby I-cord, and that's what I just decided to do. So I have like a 2-stitch I-cord happening here every other row, with the ending on a like black colored one. It just looks much better. It's a lot cleaner. It looks nicer on both sides. I can do the edging as I go. I won't have to go back and pick something up. This is only like 54 stitches. I think this one was 70 something. So I'm a lot happier with the shape of this. I'm taking this little stitch marker. This one has just been lost in this bag for months. I'm going to put it on here. And y'all, I'm going to really try to just grow this a lot over the next couple of weeks. So I have this done by the end of the year. I know that's a long time. I hope it won't take me that long. I probably won't talk about this every week. Even if I make progress, maybe I'll just pop it up and show you, because it's pretty boring. Let's be real. This is not going to be a really interesting knit. It's a great fellow project. It is going to be the best to wear and use. And I think it's like such a fun statement. Like, I just love that high contrast. I am using De Rare Natura Ulysse. I think the color is Sal. Anyway, and then I'm using like the black color from Knitting for Olive in the heavy merino. So it's a worsted weight and like a sport DK. And so you can tell the difference. I mean, those are, and I'm using a 4mm needle, which also I think I just decided on a needle size. I don't know that was like for the pattern. And yeah, you can see like the two sides of the brooch look pretty different. But yeah, so I am overall really enjoying it. Loving it, actually, just so much. It's really great. So I shall just continue on my merry way, growing and growing and growing it. I think because I have like, these are pretty sticky yarns, like, yeah, it'll grow, but I don't think it's going to grow tons lengthwise. And I think I want it to be like probably almost 90 inches. I want it to be quite long and drapey. So I've got a lot to go. Let's call this 3 inches maybe. I've got a lot to go. That's okay. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. And I really just recast this on last night. I am doing brioche rows, both colors at the same time, back and forth. That means I have to switch which is on my pin or around my neck, whichever way. Each row, and I got into a rhythm last night. It took me like 3 or 4 passes. The one side was easier than the other. I got into a little bit of a rhythm and I was like, oh, okay, I do think it saves me like 2/3 of the time between 2 rows. So I think it's worth it. I think I'll get a lot more done a lot faster. I also like think it's really engaging to do that way. So I'm doing 2 colors at the same time, brioche, for this whole shawl, and we shall see how it goes. And that is it. We're back on, everybody. Emily really wants to finish her. She asked for motivation and I said, okay, I'm going to cast back on. So I need to send her a picture just to be like, haha, I have started. I shall now try to catch up to you. But yeah, I'm really excited to just have it, wear it around. All of us have very unique ones. Ariel's also making one, and she's using just like a fingering held double and a DK, so it's going to be more like the same weight, and hers is going to be wider and shorter, and Emily's going to be pretty wide and long, and mine is going to be skinnier and probably longer, so all different. Last but never least is our book snake. It just keeps growing and growing. Here we are. You can't even get it in the screen anymore. Here we are. Coming along quite nicely. I actually need to go get more polyfill, which I need to do maybe this weekend, but I'm so excited. I should have done that yesterday. I was up there, but now that Joanne's no longer, I have to go all the way to Michael's, which is further away. But yes, so here we are. Here I was last week. I think I added, let's see how many. I added 20 stripes. So we're back on the more than 10 or whatever I did last week, which is pretty good. Not up to the 30 standard, but let's just see. I think I will get through Q2 in just a couple weeks if we keep this pace, which also means I'll catch up to where I am before this quarter is over. That's my real goal, is just to be totally caught up by the end of September. So let's go to where we are. The first color I added here after Deep End last week is this pretty bluey purpley business, and that was Scandalized by Ivy Owens, who is one half of the Christina Lauren duo. I'm not sure which one. I think it's Christina. Wrote a book, and it is quite spicy. I had a great time reading it. I recommend if you like a little bit of smut. Then the next one is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, which is Crowns of Nyaxia 2. It's a duology. There's that little half book in between. I did finally finish it out. My goodness, that took me a long time to read. And I enjoyed it. I really loved the first one, and the second one was a trial for me. It's okay. I still think it was good. I think I shouldn't have stopped where I did, and it took me many months to get back into it. Okay. The third is the fourth of the Meant to Be series. So it's called Tangled Up in You. This one was by Christina Lauren. I loved it. It was the weirdest of the adaptations, like kooky, like, but also more serious. Anyway, I thought it was great. I love Tangled, the movie also. So I felt like their parallels and like the things that they did were like maybe like more on the nose. I don't know. I guess they really all were. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was good. Okay. This red one, can you tell what this was? Do you guys remember? Manacled. Oh man, it was Manacled. I did put it in here. That is a fanfic. It is not a published book yet. But it was quite the read, so I put it in there. Also because it's in Storygraph, so I can. It does list it as not a book. Just FYI. Okay, the next one here, this deep bluey black, is The Emperor of Evening Stars, which is third of the Bargainer series. I think there's one more, because I don't think this ended in a good way at all. Yeah, there's one more, and I really should finish it out because this ended on like such a cliffhanger, but I just have not gotten back there. Okay, the next one is, I actually really like this color combo I did here. This is actually just one single yarn, but I felt like it really captures that like dark vibe that's happening inside of that cover. Anyway, this one is called Keep Me, which is Sinful Manor #1 by Sarah Kate. My first Sarah Kate book, super smutty. Strange premise. Did I like it? I'm pretty sure I liked it. Would I read more? Probably. Girl goes to house in Scotland, actually accidentally gets like proposition things ensue. That's what happens. Okay. This one here is Spark of the Everflame, which is the first of the trilogy by Penn Cole. I have the rest in here. This is from the Kindred's Curse series. It's not a trilogy, sorry. It is a series that is not done and maybe is not getting done now, I've heard. I don't know. But anyway, I have all three of those in here for this week. Okay, then this one here, which is not actually probably the closest match, and I could have done a more muted one, but I think I like the red in her shirt, and like there's more like dark pink tones and all the dark blues and stuff. Anyway, so I did this one, is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, which is the story of Rue and Eli, and I liked this one. This is the Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy, which is the third of the Campus Diaries. This is like the second generation after Garrett Graham. It's like Garrett's kids and they're the other players' kids, and they're all at Briar U still because everybody goes there. And it's like also the friend group. Okay, this one is Say You'll Remember Me, this one here, by Abby Jimenez, which is the first of a new series, and which makes sense because their friend group, I imagine, will have books. I didn't love this one. This one didn't feel like it wasn't comedy enough. It was pretty heavy. It was heavy. She has a lot more heavy books. I like Abby Jimenez. I like her banter and the way she writes, generally speaking. She often deals with heavier topics like that the main characters are going through, which I appreciate for the most part. This one, I don't know. There was something about it. I just thought it was more sad than it was uplifting. Anyway, this one here was Empire of Storms, which is book 5 of Throne of Glass. This one here is, they did the tandem read. This is Tower of Dawn. I feel like this one is I feel like both of these are pretty good, actually. This, I didn't have like the right perfect purple for Empire of Storms, but I like the combo of, how these two look. And also because like of the deep dark sea, I thought that was okay. And then this is Tower of Dawn, which is book 6. Here is, and those are like, this one was a combo, which was a little bit hard to find. I went back and forth a lot on this. This one is actually that Yukon Spring. I think, which is a worsted from my coloring book raglan. And so I had a bunch of that left over. And so I felt like this just would capture like the grass and the sky and like the greenness and the like mountain air, which is like a big thing about this book, which is 9-month contract, the first of the Mountain Men Matchmaker series. Wow, say that one fast 5 times. By Amy Dawes. I've read a lot of Amy Dawes books, mostly before this podcast. I don't actually know if I've ever talked about another one from here. They're mostly available on Kindle Unlimited. She doesn't have any audiobooks maybe of any of her books, which is kind of crazy and sad. But yeah, it's a pretty good color. Okay. This one is Glow of the Everflame, which is the second of the Kindred's Curse, by Penn Cole. This one is my favorite half night stand. I added the blue in from like the text bubbles on the front of the cover. I do think I could have just done the green. It would have been fine, but I just thought I have another of the just plain green, and I probably have one more later because I know I just finished a book that would be perfect for that. So I just felt like I wanted something different. This one is Shatter Me. I think this is a pretty good match too. I could have gone a little darker, but I just did more of like the light gray and blue. This is just one color held double, which I really like. This is a YA dystopic. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the writing style. I know there are like, this is a torn camp. There are people who really love this book series so hard, and there's like 12 of them. I wanted to get into it, and I decided it was not for me. Okay, that's fine. And then after that, I read a great book, and this is The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And that's the newest one from this year. It was great read. This one is Rhythm, Chord, and Malikan by Mariana Zapata. I will say, I said I love all Mariana Zapata books. That one was definitely my least favorite of all her books. I just think it was the juvenileness between the characters. It was a great slow burn still. The story itself was fine. I just didn't really feel connected to the characters. So there's that. This one here, I think this is a good color combo. Look how dark and moody that is. Super purpley and dark. This is Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen, which is the third of the Little Thieves book. I think that might be the end of this series. I loved these books. I think they're really great, really fun. If you love like witty, fun fantasy books with a hint of romance, this is up here. This is one for you. And then this one is called The Heat of the Everflame. My fingers are over top of it. It's gonna be really hard to hold otherwise. The Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is the third one that's out of the Kindred's Curse trilogy, or whatever it is, series. And I went with one that had like some reds and darker colors, just because that the cover gets darker. Like, I mean, you'll have seen all 3 of them. It's like a white color and then a gold color, which the other one was way more gold, white with that bright gold light, and then this like much darker moody. It's kind of fun to see them like when they're sort of next to each other. So yeah, that is the progress on the book snake. And this pattern, I didn't even say last week anything about it. This is by Han Lee. I am doing this mostly DK-ish, some worsted weight. I am using 4mm needles, I think. Yeah, I'm using a size 6, 4mm needles. I modified the pattern. I think I'm doing 20 stitches. No, I'm doing 30 stitches around instead of 20. Because I'm doing more DK weight than what she has suggested, which was kind of like a heavy worsted, was like the palette she had suggested it in. I did a modified snake head. It's actually pretty close to the size of hers, though it might be a little bit wider, like fat wise. But it's pretty close to the size of hers because I just tried to get close to what her gauge would have been for sizing. That's all. I'm going to keep going for the whole year. It's going to be enormous. It's going to get more and more comical, but I am loving it so far. I did rewind on my bobbins this week, and I did one. I finished one 4-ounce braid. This is from, this is 100% Polworth from Backloop Yarn and Fiber. She's not dying anymore, so this is not available. But I have 2 braids of this. I don't know where the other one is right now. Somewhere in this shelf, I'm sure. But I was contemplating, well, let's have a super quick chat about this. I was contemplating plying the 4 of these into 2 separate bobbins. I still may do that. I think the combo then would be like this. But I think I maybe like the two of these together the most, actually. And I don't like these together. Which means, since I have the other braid of this, I might just do that other braid and put these together. Ply these two together, or even ply these three for something pretty thick. Oh Lord, need more hands. For something pretty thick, or again, this I could just ply with itself. I rewound it onto the bobbin, but I could put it onto a, make a centerfold ball. I don't know, thoughts, feelings, combo suggestions, all welcome over here. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, these two are the most close color family wise. This one is just so light. Like these might be okay together, but I think I don't know that I love these two together. I don't know. Maybe they're fine. What do you think? Help. Send help. I have 2 more bobbins in total. I need to rewind this last one over here. I might find that other red color, just to spin it up anyway to have it as reserves and then decide what I'm going to do. None of these have project plans. These are just to get some stuff out of my stash. Also just like because they were braids that I felt like spinning right now. Instead of working really hard to get an actual like weight that I want, these will just be. That is all. Okay, obviously it was a really busy weekend, so I only finished 2 books this week, though I'm very close to finishing another one. And that first one was House of Earth and Blood, which is #1 of Crescent City. I told you I was reading this. This is part of my Sarah J. Maas reread. This is the first where you get into a more like modern civilization. Like they have cell phones, they've got computers. We're talking about hacking people sometimes. We're talking about like other things, but also magic. The main character is works for like a ancient arts dealer, maybe some illegal things happening, but she's got like, she doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. She's feeling a little bit stuck. She is also dealing with a lot of grief. The male, her counterpart, her male main character, anyway, they get pushed together to solve a kind of a cold case. And because she just might know things because of her artifacts, ancient artifacts background, and also because she was close to the person from the cold case. And Hunt is an angel, and Hunt is, and I like him as an MMC. I think people have feelings about this, but I enjoy Hunt a lot. But anyway, they are, you know, kind of reluctant co-workers to friends, to lovers kind of scenario. It's a little bit of a slow burn. It's definitely a slow burn, actually. This is the slowest burn. I don't know. Sarah J. Maas is good at a slow burn. Actually, it can be many books. But this is a slow burn. And I appreciate that Bryce is just, she's learning a lot in these books, but also she's like many other Sarah J. Maas characters, she's quite salty. She has like a lot of attitude. I like it. Anywho, I really liked Crescent City. This was actually my first Sarah J. Maas book, which is a wild and crazy place to dip in. I do not suggest that to other people, but I was still hooked, and I read enough romantasy, and I had at that point too that I was like, oh yeah, I'm in for this. And went back and read all the other series. So we'll go through and read the other 2 that are out right now. And yeah, be waiting our next release, which will probably be sometime early next year. The next book I read was The Jackass in Class, which is the 5th of the Cocky Kingmans books by Amy Award. This one is, these are all brothers who play football. We are on the younger of the brothers. There are 8 children, I believe. 7 brothers and a sister. And this is book 5. This is one of the twins. They are in college. It is their senior year. The next one will be book, theoretically, I guess, I don't know, in theory, I think it's going to be about the other twin. It's like during them getting drafted. It's mostly their whole of, or like a lot of their senior year. The boy is like, I want no attachment, blah, blah, blah. But then finds a girl who doesn't give him the time of day, and then he's interested, and they get like thrown together in a couple scenarios, and he is there for her, and she is like just never really had someone interested in her and like unsure that this is like real. It was a cute story overall. I love her books. She says, these are fluff, but I worked really hard on them. That's how she starts them. And I appreciate that. I say this sometimes like, hey, this is just like this is like, you know, trashy, whatever. But like, listen, people spend the time to write these books and I am here for it. People make reality TV and lots of people consume that. I am not a reality TV watcher. I would much rather read a sort of fluffy book of romance, two people falling in love, because there's always some poignant moments in it, and it's just something that makes me feel good inside. It makes me less sad about humanity and more happy. And so that is how I'm gonna continue to live my life. This is this one was a good one though, and had some really good side characters. And I am reading another book that is a really long romance, and it's not even dragging. I've been reading it pretty quickly, but it is a long romance. So we'll talk about that next week and some other things that I have been reading as well. Let's talk flock and acquisitions. I say and acquisitions because I did get something in the mail last week. Monday maybe. It might have been yesterday. I have no idea. Time is meaningless. Okay. I got a t-shirt quantity from Paisley Knits from her Era's summer release that was, I think, all tonals for the Taylor Swift collection 2.0, and I got this in I Did Something Bad. Not only because that's one of my favorite T Swift songs, and also because I love Taylor Swift forever and I will buy the yarn and not be mad about it. I got Cove Sock, which is just her 90%, 19.5 extra fine, super 19.5 micron, sorry, extra fine super wash merino, 10% recycled nylon, like standard sock base. This is actually what I got for my Amaretta. I would like to do my second Amaretta in this with no finishing or like the really small ribbing all over, and just have like a more t-shirty one. So, and I might do a long sleeve or a 3/4 length sleeve for that one. Anyway, so I have 3 skeins for that. And I know I don't need 3 skeins for that because I just did this in a t-shirt and I did not need full 3 skeins. But I need 2.25 or whatever. So whatever. Got to break into it. Let's just talk about Flock the weekend. And while we do the recap, I'll tell you what I bought. I had the best time. It was so fun. It was really, this year, we really wanted to make it more about friends. That is true, but I still feel like I spent the entire day on Sunday shopping. There was quite a lot of stopping and chatting with friends, but we really didn't sit and knit very much. And while we sat and knit and tried to relax more on Saturday, we also, everyone I think felt like totally still bug-eyed and overwhelmed about like what was available and what we actually wanted to buy. We went in with less plans, every one of us, me, Sylvan, Ariel, were like, I think Sylvan had some more things that she had like picked out that maybe she wanted, but like all of us were like pretty open to just like what the yarn universe wanted to present to us. That's a bad way to go in when you're a person that has a large stash and also who is susceptible to just buying things because they're pretty. So I did not go overboard. I did not go crazy in my opinion. I bought less yarn than I ever have from the 2 other times I've been to Flock. Less yarn than I bought at Rose City. I did buy some fiber, but I didn't go crazy. And I got some fun notions and other things, but stuff that I feel like is very usable, not just anything like kooky and pretty. So on Saturday, I only bought fiber and some notion-y type things. So the only thing I beelined for, and there was actually fiber all the way through the weekend, I think, was the bats from Witchfire Fiber. This is what they look like. They were priced by the actual weight. They were not all exactly 4 ounces or whatever. This, I got 2 Charlie. That's the one I wanted. It is not Poppy, is the whiter of the fleeces, but I knew I wanted Charlie because Charlie has like the softest micron count. Charlie is also a good boy. He's a puppy sheep. And so that's a picture of Charlie. Isn't he just the cutest, sweetest little baby? Let me tell you about him. Basically, this little thing tells us about Charlie. Charlie was how her flock started. He's a goofy boy. He watches over all the girls. I think maybe he's her only male. He likes cuddles. He paws at you. He likes putting his head against you. He's gentle and loving as a puppy. He's got the best personality. He is spotted brown and white, which turns into this oatmeal-y color Charlie's food is whatever grass you have picked for him as long as he doesn't have to do the work. That's really funny. So it's really soft. It's really, really nice. Like, I mean, I'm just really excited to spin these. I am going to try to spin them woolen. I'm going to just, I don't know what I'm going to do with them right now, but I got about 7 ounces, 6.5 ounces. Then I got this from 40 Winks Fibers, and she doesn't actually have her like name anywhere on this, but this is Sari Silk and Sparkle, 80% true black alpaca, 20% charcoal merino plus. So I think it's probably, you know, who knows what, like 60, 70, 80% of the both alpaca and merino, and then plus sparkle in. Sorry. So I don't know exactly how she does this, but this is 3 ounces, and this one is called Your Idol. It is her K-pop Demon Hunters color. She is going to actually do a pre-order of this. I don't know that I'll get more, or not a pre-order, like she's going to make up 20 more of these and then make them. I will not be able to do this, probably draft this long draw because of the Sari Silk in here, and it's quite a lot of Sari Silk, like you can see that bunch there. That's going to require more finesse and finagling, so I will probably just spin this worsted. So maybe I'll get another one so I can have two, like a 6 full ounces, and do like a fun hat or something with it. And then the other thing I bought was actually a little bat from Little Fiber Co. This is actually done by Kira Wiggins, who was there, but she had the bats in the colors that I wanted. This is from Lauren's pre-order. I have more stuff from her. Lauren is doing the brandy version of Cinderella pre-order at the end of this month, I think is when it actually goes live. But she brought it to Flock, and it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. This color is called This Ball Will Never End, and this is amazing. This is a Cormo rose bat. It's 80% Cormo, 20% rose, like rose the plant. I was like, Lauren, what? And she goes, yeah, you can spin rose. And I was like, I mean, I guess this makes sense. You can spin flax, linen, silk, what, I mean, like, you spin all these kinds of things, like, I'm sure, whatever. But that's really fun and special, and it is 50 grams. It's really nice, really soft, really gorgeous. This color has like a lot of fun depth in it, and I'm like really excited about this and color in general. I don't know if I'll order more from the pre-order, but she had some really, this is like hitting all of my notes. Like this, there's teals, there's dark blues, there's purples, there's some like couple lighter colors, but like mostly they're like just really gorgeous jewel tones. Okay, on Saturday I also this is actually where Sylvan beelined. She wanted these Knit and Bloom socks from 316 Dye Studios, and I was like, you know what, I also would really love them. I think they had some last year, but not as many, and they're really beautiful. This is one single sock tube, and actually I'll take it out so I can show you guys because it's really cool. And then 2 minis. So the minis match the colors of the dye, but these are like botanical prints. So you actually, and this goes both ways. So this is like how long it's got like a little tag on it, but it's pretty long. I believe I will be able to get 2 pairs of socks out of this easily. Maybe one's going to be a little bit shorter than the other, but easily, because I don't like really long socks. These are 64 stitch sock tubes. I will not, like, this is not a blank. I'm not going to do anything other than put in a toe, do an afterthought heel, which I don't love to do, as you know, but I will figure it out to make sure it fits right, and then do a cuff. And that's all I have to do. And I have these 2 minis in which to decide how I want to do that. And it's just so gorgeous. Sylvan got a couple of them, and then we just picked which ones we each like liked the most. And it happened to just work out really well. So yeah, like I'm going to play with this. We're going to see, but I feel we'll surely have socks in this beautiful print by the end of the year. I would like to just do this so I know if I like it, so I can decide if I want to do something like this next year too. Okay, so that is that. So on Saturday, I also stopped by the Denim and Rain booth, and I got one of her like oopsie packs. I don't know how these are damaged. These are slightly damaged, slightly not perfect, that she prices for way cheaper. And this one has a little alpaca. It has a little Seattle like skyline type thing, and then like a Washington State thing plus a flower. Like it's just a little 4-pack of stitch markers. But the alpaca and the yak were new this year. I have a sheep that's on my no sweatshirt right now, and I thought this was really cute, so I'm going to add that to the collection. I have quite a lot of Denim and Rain these days. And then this is called Whip. It's work in progress. Whipped hand cream made by Haley Bailey. She is lovely. She's such a sweet human. I went to her booth last year, and this flavor, this one, Moonflower Vine, was sold out on Saturday early. It sold out again this year, not as early, but it smells divine. And then I also got the peach tree scent, which is really like, it's pretty floral and fruity, but like it's still kind of light. And I like to have one of these in my knit bag. And I will put them on, not like every day, really, usually, though sometimes in the winter I'll do it every day before I start, just like let it absorb a little bit. This one, I don't have any of her Whip. I have other ones that are like meant for knitting, but hers are like fast absorbing, hydrating, and do not leave an oily sheen. And I like tried it at her booth last year. She had some testers, and then I went and knit later, and I thought it was really nice. So I knew that I wanted these this year, and so I got them. I got some stitch stoppers from Claire just by seeing her. Okay. Then on Saturday, we like walked around and we walked around and did a couple of like, I did the Charlie purchase and that K-pop Demon Hunters, because she only had a few of those. And then the sock blank, and that was before lunch. We went out to lunch, we like hung out. Right after lunch, I did pictures with Claire for the staple tank tester group. And I also did pictures for for the Tori U group. Then we sat on the stairs and we knit for about an hour, and then around 4 o'clock I went to go back in and just see if I did a spin for a couple of things. I think that's maybe when I got the hand lotion. Like I got a couple of things then. And then I decided, Ariel and I thought about some yarn things and stuff. On Saturday we went to dinner with our like knit friend group, plus our friend Laura, who was in town, and not everybody, there were like 6 of us. And then I went home and I thought I would knit more, and I did. I knit a little bit on my couch just on my Alpine Bloom, and I was like, and I cast on the socks because I was like, oh, maybe I'll bring these to work on. And then I did not get like very far. Like I seriously did a little bit of a toe, and I was like, I am toast. I need to go to bed immediately. Went to bed really early. I did wake up earlier than normal on Flock Saturday because I wanted to like be ready. And then I woke up and did it all over again. It was nice. On Saturday or on Sunday, we met up at our friend's, who was not going with us, but she lives in Ballard, and we got pastries and had coffee and sat and chat for a little bit and decided if like people were talking about some extra plans and other things like that. Then we went down. We probably didn't get there until like 11 something. They opened at 10, like maybe 11:30 we got there. And then we just like walked through the marketplace, and actually like, because we had all these yummy pastries for breakfast, both Ariel and I were like, we don't need lunch until like 3-ish. We got poke with our friend Laura, and then we like right before they closed made our last minute purchases, which I think I got one thing and Ariel got one skein. Like we just got like one little last thing, and then we were done. And then the marketplace closed. I think Ariel bought something at 4:01. They was like, marketplace closed, and she was like, at Red Door, she was like, Kate, can I buy this one last thing? And she was like, yeah, of course. So, but it was really fun. It's always fun to be there at the end, because they say like the marketplace is closed now, and everybody like cheers and people start packing up, and it's like a party still, even though everyone's dead tired. And then Ariel and I got bubble tea and went home. So that was it. That was our whole weekend. Here is what I got. I only made purchases from 3 places. 3 places. That's true? 4. One thing was that like a project that had been on my list for quite a long time, like seriously 2 years plus, is the Alder sweater from Rebecca Club. I love that stitch pattern. I think it's so interesting and fun. I've always wanted to do it in a non-superwash yarn that was not very like, not too sticky and would still like look smooth and nice in the pattern, but be good for that kind of like colorworky, mosaic-y sort of knit pattern. So I got stuff from Viking Fiber Co. And I have never bought from Viking Fiber Co. His name is Kyle, the dyer, and he's based out of Colorado. He was super nice. We chatted with him for a while at the booth. I was between this gray and natural, but I just love this teal color a lot. I'm going to give a go for these color names, and one of them is easy, but I do not know how to say this other name. So these are Near DK. It is a non-superwash US grown, 60% RWS, which I don't know what that means. Shanico Fine Wool, RWS. If somebody knows what that means, let me know. 30% Corriedale, 10% Romney. That's such a fun mix, and it feels so soft. It's really that Shanico base being like that kind of matte, like velvety feel. Corriedale is a little hardier, and I've never knit with Romney, but Romney is, I think, also relatively soft, like has also like a crimpy style yarn. Anyway, it's a 230 yards for 100 gram 3-ply. The 3-ply, it's nice and rounded. It does have like a little bit of that like for real woolly halo. It's got this, it did say this was like a 10% off or something, because it was like this batch of Nornier is a little bit more free spirited. I think that just means there's a little more inconsistencies in the milling in like the batch, but I don't care. That's going to be fine in this pattern also. So I was like, oh, that's fine. And I thought this was like such an interesting non-superwash base. So this was the first yarn I purchased. This color is called Rand's Nest. That one's easy. This one is called Gunungagap. Gunungagap? Gunungagap? I don't know. I don't know how to say that, but I really like it. It's really soft. It's a really cool gray. So this will be my alder. This will be the main color, which will be like the cuffs and the collar, and just like the base of how you hold it. So like this will be slightly more prevalent of the color. Okay, so I got enough to make my alder sweater. Hooray. Then the only other yarn I bought was, well, I guess I bought one skein somewhere else, but I bought some from Little Fiber Co. I've never purchased from Lauren directly. I have some old Yarn Addict yarn that I got, Addict Co. yarn that I got from D-Stash many years ago. I've never used. I don't think I've used any of. So this will be really fun. This is Berries and Basil from, I think it's from her collection, like her club last year was like the Le Creuset kitchen collection or whatever. This is just a regular Surrey, 65% Surrey alpaca, 35% silk. It's got a higher silk content, which I thought would be interesting to use. I'm going to use this with a singles, like a single ply skeins of Makita I have from Malabrigo that are like a little bit more green dark pink leaning. Arco Iris is the color base for that. But I want to make another Metropolitan, and I want to make one in like a silk, or sorry, in a Surrey fingering weight, more like the pattern says, to see if I get better gauge. Also to do a slightly more fitted version, because I love that one so much and I would love a more fitted version. And I want this really dark, yummy color. There's a little bit of greens and blues, like Lauren said, that they're like those blues pop out. So I think it'll be a really nice match for that. So this is called Berries and Basil. Then I got from her also yarn for a test knit. So I did just get into Claire's newest test knit, which is for the sweater right now. I think the working name is called the Scorned sweater, because this is going to be for Paisley Knits Scorned end of year box, advent box that she has, and it's like Scorned Women, like from literature and or history. I don't remember, but anyway, it's going to be gorgeous. The inspo for this is so dreamy. I did not get the box this year, but I am doing, so Claire's first version is a 2-color stripe version. It's like 8-row 2-color stripes. I really like it, and so I decided I wanted to do 2 colors as well. The only other thing I was going to use is maybe this Tweety business I have here, which I could still use. This is a contiguous construction design. I just feel like contiguous construction gives really beautiful stripes, because the stripes go over the shoulder in like such an interesting way. It's not as square as a raglan. It's really gorgeous. So I just decided I was going to buy yarn for it, and I knew that going into Flock. So I got 2 different wool and spun yarns from Little Fiber Co. And I'm hoping they play well together. I mean, I don't have any doubt. I think they'll be fine. Like holding it wise, they feel really similar. This one though is her Woolen Merino DK, which is a one of a kind color. I don't know which collection this would have been close to. Maybe it's the Fiber in the Sky one, but anyway, This one, she could not get any more of, so she doesn't have more of this. I have heard this is a little bit scratchy, but also I don't care. I am not really sensitive. But yeah, woolen merino. It's 100% non-superwash merino, woolen spun 2-ply, $2.73 for 100 grams. This one though is her newer one, and this is from the Cinderella collection. This is Max, my smelling salts, which is a woolen Corriedale DK. It's 100% non-superwash Corriedale. It's a woolen spun 3-ply, and it is 100 grams, 328 yards. So more yardage in this one, so I have less skeins of this one. I don't know which one I'll do closer to my neck, probably this one. And these are not, there's an interesting purple story here. This is definitely a much bluier purple, but I think it'll be fun. I was looking also at Rach from ZZ Textiles that had 2 grays that were really beautiful, and they were like Falkland DKs, but, and I was so tempted. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted something with a little bit of color, but and I've been really craving purple knits, so this is what I'm making. This is what I'm going to do. So I will probably spin these, wind these up and cast this on this week. We just got the pattern on Tuesday, so I am ready, or Tuesday or Wednesday, so I'm ready to actually get this cast on like right away. Okay, that's all the sweater quantities I got. 3 Surrey, enough for 2 sweaters otherwise. The only other yarn I bought was this little baby. And I am going to make, you guessed it, a Manhattan hat. It's my go-to thing that I want to buy a single skeins of yarn for that are DK weight, or I got a bulky from Rose City. So I'll cast on a couple of these. This is a 3-ply DK weight, 250 yards for 100 grams. And it is for this blend. I just wanted it for the blend. I want to try it because I think I want a sweater quantity in this, and I will see Tumalo again. The dyer there, her name is Tatiana, and she's so lovely. She's a super, super lovely human. And she'll dye sweater quantities for you if you request them. So this is called Starbright DK. That's the base here. It is 40% Cormo, 40% BFL, 20% mulberry silk, and it's really squishy, and it's so soft. Like not woolen spun, worsted spun, but it feels really light and squishy. And like these are also pretty soft, but these feel woolly. This feels like heaven. I don't even know. So nice. She had some really fun bright colors, and so I wanted to do a hat. And I really want to try this base, and I thought this would be a fun color to do. So I am going to cast this on probably imminently, like before September, likely. We did just get a treadmill, and I want to be walking more. I told you I was going to get a walking pad. Well, Mike upgraded us to a treadmill, so whatever. And I want to be walking more at night. I need some like hat projects, because really socks are not the best thing. I'm going to have to walk slower to do a sock, but and beginning of sweaters are great, but like once sweaters are big, that's a lot more challenging. And like some of my fiddly stuff, like my smaller projects are really fiddly. Like all of those animals I cannot do while walking, because like there's no way, my gauge will be crazy. 1x1 rib I can do. I can totally do that. I might also make some like muscle burls or some other like easy hats where you just don't have to think for a really long time. And so I might just be a hat lady right now. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Okay, wait, oh, the last thing I got. I also got some fiber. Oh, no, 2 more things. Sorry, 2 more things I got. This I also got from Tumalo. This is actually 100% Egyptian cotton, and I just was intrigued, and I wanted to try this. So there's not a real purpose here. I was actually thinking like, oh, I could use this for you need 3 colors for the Velocore. One of them I already did, which is this this purpley beautiful stuff, and then you need a very small amount of a contrast color. And I was like, oh, I could use this and also be cotton, and then do a cotton woolen blend, like maybe sauna or something that is cotton wool blend. But then I like realized I really need so little. I could use this as a contrast color, but I also could just spin this and then put it into something else, like part of a tank top, or I mean honestly I might just buy more from her if I really like it, and then do like 2 colors. You know, it doesn't have to be the same color for that. Who knows? I don't know. I may order from her again. I will see her again in the not so distant future if she has more stock on her website. I think she also just like loads it on, is ready to ship. Anywho, she's lovely. Okay, the very last thing I bought is already, I'm wearing right now. It's my hair, and I'm not going to take it out, but I will show you. You guys, this is a stack of books. Isn't it so fun? I love it. I think it's so cute. This is from Lemonwood, and Lemonwood has like the yarn winders, and I stopped by their booth, and I don't need one of those, but I saw some of these clips. They had a taco. They had some really fun ones, and I was like, the stack of books I must get. I did freely give out my stickers to lots of people. It's been really fun because in people's like flock haul pictures, a couple people have tagged me for my free sticker I gave them, and I was like, heck yeah, that was part of your haul. So yeah, really fun. Fun time. So I don't know. How do you think I did? I mean, not helpful that I got other things in the mail. Oh, the last other thing I did get in the mail this week that I do want to talk about because it's going to take me 2 seconds is an acquisition from Yarn Jam in her Very, Very Merry. This was actually available at the La Mercerie booth during Flock, but not in this base. This is her Shanico Mulberry Silk base, 80% Shanico, 20% Mulberry Silk. And we are doing our Christmas socks again this year, our knitting group friends, spinning friends. So I think there are 5 of us doing it again this year. And so I don't know when I'll spin this up, like I'll probably put it on to spin sometime in October, to be honest. Wash it, cast it on Christmas Eve. That's the plan. So excited to get those done. I don't think I'll knit those socks this year. I'll just knit them next year. But if I cast them on Christmas Eve, like maybe I'll just like finish them as like my end of year easy project. I don't know how I'll spin it this year. No plans yet, but really excited to have that. Okay, what do you guys think I did for my haul? Pretty good. I did not go too crazy. I didn't get like 30 things of yarn or fiber. And I really kept it to 3 projects and a hat. I mean, 3 large projects and a hat for my yarn purchases, which I felt was pretty good. There was like t-shirts. There was a lot of DK weight yarn this year that like looked really fun base wise. And I have so much fingering, and I would like to get through some of the t-shirt plans I have before I add more, even though there's more t-shirt things coming out that I want to make. And so I gotta get some off my queue first. That's what I've decided. The only thing that may jump the queue in the very near future, and I would have to buy yarn for, is that Lily Kate checker plate tee. It's the lace weight of the checker plate, but maybe I'll just save that till next spring, and I'll get yarn for it at like Rose City, and then make it. I don't know. TBD, everybody. Or I'll shuffle around project plans and just use something I already have. I do believe in just like talking to Ariel yesterday even. I was like, I think that next year some of my purchases like at Rose City even will be more commercial yarns that are truly better summer yarns, because like something like this, I guess I could get this, like, and Tumalo had this base, like I want more summer fibers, and I do have some that I want to knit up, because like the t-shirts I have right now in August, it's been challenging to wear them, and I've been wearing more tank tops, which is fine, but I don't love to wear tank tops as much as I like to wear t-shirts. So I want to make some more t-shirts in true summer blend yarns so that I'm not too hot even just sitting here at my desk in my house. That is what I have to tell you. So plans will be changing, plans will be coming. I will cast on some more stuff. So I think the next cast ons coming this week are going to be my test knit for sure. I'm going to cast that on. Probably not this hat yet, even though this yarn is just really calling my name. And I'll just be working through a couple of the things I have on my needles to get done relatively quickly. As soon as I finish maybe not even finish, as soon as I get into the finishing parts of my Alpine Bloom, I'm probably going to cast on another fingering weight t-shirt. So I have just like, because this is the thing, it's the focus right now. So you got to keep it front of mind to have more summer weight t-shirts out there. Fingering weight, summery blend ones. I went through my freeform the other day and I reorganized, and I think the next thing I'll probably cast on, and I do need to cast on one of my Make 9 cardigans very soon because I have 2 cardigans left. But I think the thing that I'll cast on is probably either my Elton, which is not really summer blends, and that's also kind of a transitional season one. But for summer blends will probably be some yarn that I used from Flock. I got from Flock last year, which is this from Sea Change. So this is a new goal. And this is like from flock to flock, so it's not necessarily 2025 or 2026, but I guess I could make it a 2026 goal for sure. But by next flock, before next flock starts, I would like to knit all of the yarn. I mean, like, knit into projects, not use every single gram, but knit all of the yarn that I purchased in 2023. I used a little less than half right now, and I used absolutely zero skeins from 2024. So I would like to use all from 2023. I'm going to already use some from 2025 because I've got these two things I know I'm going to cast on very soon. But I would like to use at least half from 2024. So I'd like to go into Flock 2026 knowing that I have, this is not about my whole yarn stash, y'all. This is about the things I purchased at Flock. So I know I'm making good decisions while I'm there, that I have used all of what I purchased from the first flock, half of the second flock, half of the third flock, though I'll be that just by making the first sweater and that hat. I will have used half. That is all of half. So that should not be hard. But the rest of the ones I got from 2023, I got a lot of yarn there. That was my biggest purchase. Like I've gotten less yarn each year, more fiber. Like I don't even know if I got fiber last year. I got a little bit of fiber last year. More fiber this year. That makes sense. Spinning journey, knitting journey. But yeah, so I've got more things that I'll just be casting on that is like gonna feel like random things. But everybody is so excited. This is like my showcase yarn. This is my most favorite color maybe that I have right now in this. Like, I'm gonna knit this Porter Woolco double dye color. Finally, I will knit this year. I have a shirt picked out for it. I am going to cast it on. I'm actually just waiting for a friend, and so this one is coming up very quickly. And then I have the similar goals for Rose City. So by the time we get to Rose City, which will be my third year, I would like to have used everything from my first year purchasing at Rose City, which was actually not that much. And I have used quite a bit of it already. So maybe I'll share those pictures and share those plans as I figure them out in the next couple of weeks. But this is a new thought for myself. It's just a way to keep myself responsible for the things I buy in person, which certainly feel a little bit more spur of the moment. Here we are. It was just really fun to connect with y'all, like people who watch the podcast, people who interact with me on Instagram and on Discord. It was really, really nice to like put some actual like live faces and interactions to names. And yeah, it was really great. And then also seeing the dyer people that I'm friends with and other people that just come to the show that like are dyers and or, you know, big in the space. Like I did say hi to Andrew and Maury. But I like got to chat with Claire and Coley, who are two of my favorite PNW up north people. They're Canadians, both of them. And then I got to like chat with Brandy from Long Dog Yarn. I got to meet a bunch of fellow test knitters for Claire, and that group is the wildest, most fun people. They all love each other so much, and it was really great. Like taking pictures with them was super fun. So overall, I had a wonderful time chatting, knitting, hanging out, seeing, touching, feeling all the good yarns. Yeah, you know, I did fail a little bit on my mission of try and touch and feel all the samples. There were some that I definitely did touch and feel, and I took a couple of pictures, but it's just, it's overwhelming. It doesn't matter how mentally prepared to try to go in. It's too much pretty in such a small space. There are a lot of people. Saturday morning was pretty crowded from the 10 to 12 mask. And then as soon as there was no masks, it was like a flood of extra people who were waiting, and it was really crazy and super busy. And we left right after that because it was like, I need to get out of here immediately. And so that's when we did lunch, and that was much calmer when we came back in. But I don't know, 2 days is not enough to see so much pretty and also make decisions. And I'm sure like, I mean, I was pooped. I could not have done a third day, but I also wanted like 5 more days to just sit there and decide. I mean, that'd been very dangerous for my wallet, but it's how I felt about it. But yeah, it was really fun, totally draining to me. I know it's like the knit group is like, you're definitely not an introvert. Listen, I'm an extroverted introvert. I am fine meeting strangers and I can make some small talk. And I could talk with anybody about fiber things I love, but I then need to go home and sit in a dark room by myself. I literally got home on Saturday and Mike was watching TV in the dark, but I was like, I need to go downstairs and sit in a dim room with absolutely no sound. And like, I did listen to a book, but I was like, I can't have like other stimulation. I need like to knit a boring thing and have very little stimulation. And I still only lasted like less than an hour. And then I was like, I gotta go to bed. So yeah, it's definitely a thing, but I had a great time. I want to do it all the time, every year. It's just like such a blast. So if you went, I hope you had fun. I hope you said hi to me. I hope that, you know, I gave you a sticker and it was all fun and everything. So, and we got what you wanted. So that's also important, that you like left with a little bit of extra joy and a lighter wallet. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for hanging out as always. Move, stretch your bodies, and I hope you are enjoying all of your fun fiber crafts. I will talk to you next week. Please keep the conversation going below. Tell me if you went to Flock, what great things that you got. What did you have? What was like the most enjoyable or best part about Flock if you went? And then if you didn't go, what other fiber festivals are you looking forward to that are coming to you this year, or has your already passed? I mean, even if it had already passed, what was your favorite thing from yours this year? Such a fun community thing. For me, it's community. It's all about the people. I mean, I had a great time squishing stuff, but it wasn't even like seeing or feeling new fibers. For me, it was totally just seeing people, hanging out, giving hugs. Yeah. Oh, I got to meet Tashi for the first time. This was the best. It was the best. It was the best Flock. I had a great time. I am in the, we're in the mode of finding our next group color knit, like all one color knit. So if anybody knows of, I think we're gonna do a dark blue or a navy. So if anybody knows of a dyer that does those more as dye to order, because we're gonna have to buy a lot and probably more like fingering weight things, let me know. We would love if it was a local dyer. Yeah, we're just kind of looking around to see what is the right move for next year. Yeah, suggestions welcome. Anyway, it was so great talking to all of you. Please tell me what you've been working on while watching, or just the best things that are on your needles right now. Anything good that you've read or that you're working on, all of the good things. I'm always here for it. I will talk to you next week though.